Hello. Oh, he's not there yet. Hi, Robert. How are you doing?
Hey, just me and you.
Yeah, with the same background provided by you.
Exactly. How are you? You're looking younger. What are you doing?
I don't know. Working
You're
harder.
younger.
I don't feel any younger, that's for sure.
Right. You okay? Yeah, all good?
Yeah, good. Thank you. You?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Not bad.
Good. Talking of younger, here is somebody who's a lot younger than you and I.
Hey, he's your age and my age. Double. You're right, Ross.
How we doing? You okay?
Yeah. I'm waiting on compliance on all my bits and pieces.
Have you not been on to him?
Yeah, what do you think?
I bet they're sick of you. I bet they blacklisted your number.
Well, I've given them 3. I've done all. Because it's taking so long. I've done all 3 sites myself now. Already. Even got my TikTok account already.
You're waiting for compliance to sign off a website?
Yeah, website. Some new websites.
Good luck.
Oh,
no, it could
got
be
mine signed off last week. It took about a month when it was supposed to take a week.
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
I had to start jumping up and down all over the place to get it done, speaking to them direct and all sorts. But anyway, they did it in the end.
I'm interested to see how this TikTok turns out for you, Rob.
Don't you worry, mate. I'm all ready.
You okay, Vicky?
I'm good, thank you, Stephen. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm in stream. I've never been on TikTok before, but if you're on it, Robert, I might have to get on it.
I've got to go on it, mate. I just need my Earth, Wind and Fire. Just need that right type of music.
Oh, send me the link when you're on.
You're joking. I'm all ready for action.
But if you can do it, then maybe I should.
Well, all I know is I'd see. I'll tell you the one thing that Lauren, God, she's good at that TikTok.
You seen how many inquiries they're getting?
Yeah, that's why I'm getting on it.
Unbelievable. 50 a week, she said last season.
Yeah, but I'd like to know what the conversion rate is on that 50.
Looking at their numbers, it's probably quite a lot, mate.
Is that Kylie? Kylie and her team on TikTok?
No, it's Lauren and Zach. Kylie's on
right.
It's a bit
Kylie's on there.
Bit of competition going on.
Now, Carey Ann's on it as well.
Yeah.
But I might not. I don't want to go on it to get 50 inquiries a week. I ain't got time for doing that. Mind you, having had my worst month in August, although I did spend half of it on holiday, since I don't know when, then maybe I should go on it.
Hey, we're all on TikTok. You just wait. I'm going to send you a link. Hey, David, there should be some training on TikTok.
And Robert, yeah, okay. Are you going to run it?
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Give me a couple of days.
Have you got the moves?
If the music's right.
He's working on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to remember back to in the good old days when we used to have linear conferences and we could all have a few beers. Then he had the moves about 11:30.
Yeah.
If it was awake.
To be fair, maybe 10 years ago, they were pretty good moves.
None of us have been around long enough with linear to remember that, Robert.
I bet Donald has.
Yeah. Hello. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Asher.
Hi.
We're talking about dancing at the conferences. Were you ever on that dance floor?
I was never off it.
Well, there you go. See.
Right, what are we doing for time? Oh, we'll give it 1 minute. We haven't got Alex with us yet either, have we? No. Okay. So, right. Well, shall we make a start and we'll see who joins us throughout. I've had quite a lot of apologies. There are quite a lot of people on holiday this week, I guess. Whether that's because kids are going back, or the kids don't go back until next, just getting the holidays in before then, I don't quite know. But the good news is my 15-year-old daughter's back at school. Hey, Asher, is your daughter back at school?
She's back next Wednesday.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
You,
After having survived the Reading Festival, that is.
Whoa.
I know.
yeah, I can't manage that. Going to Fake Fest, which is up near us this weekend. I'll be a laugh. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll make a start, and what we'll do whilst we're waiting for Alex as well, that means you get to go on first, Vicky.
Lovely.
Anyway, because ladies first. So let me make you the host. I assume you've got a presentation for us.
Yes, I have got a presentation. It was actually one that we produced for Primus a little while ago, and I presented, and there was a couple of people from Linear there, but I thought it'd be really great for you guys to have a look and see it.
Excellent. Okay. And for those of you who don't know Vicky, because I'm making a massive assumption now, because I do, I haven't introduced her properly. So Vicky's our BDM from Guardian.
Lovely.
There you go.
I think I've spoken to most people on the call, so that's great. I haven't met Donald and David yet, but I know that you deal with other people within Guardian anyway. So good to meet you.
Yeah.
Lovely. Right, let me just share the screen.
You'll be fine.
I'm not sure if he's talking to me or not. Lovely. Right, hopefully you can see my slides now. I'm just going to start the slideshow. Can you see that okay, or can you see my notes?
Yeah, we can see it.
Perfect. That's lovely. Okay, so yeah, today I'm going to talk to you about children's critical illness.
All right.
So when Guardian came to market, we came with the ambition to be able to challenge the rest of the market to sorry, I got thrown there a little bit. Sorry, to challenge the rest of the protection industry. And that was to, by improving the quality of definitions, to be able to provide better options for your clients and also to enhance the value of your advice. So what I want to take you through today is what we've done at Guardian with children's critical illness and how we feel that we can achieve this ambition. I'm sure you've seen this slide before, but obviously it's just to reassure you that Guardian is backed by Scottish Friendly, who have over 150 years experience and are the largest mutual insurer in Scotland. So therefore you're in safe hands. So our motto is life made better. And we believe that every child deserves better. Now, the sad news is that around 12 children every day are told they have cancer. This is a devastating statistic. So what can we do at this time to make life better? And how can Guardian help you to provide your clients with the financial stability should they find out that they're one of these families each day that are told this awful news? So cancer is the biggest reason that children need cover. So let's have a look at some of these figures. Around 4,500 people under 25 are diagnosed with cancer each year, which is 12 every day. And because of that, nearly half of all parents will stop work because of their cancer treatment. So what this means is that they are losing their income at a time when they need to be looking after their child. Not only that, but when we speak to Click Sargent, they have told us that there's an additional monthly expense that's incurred when a child is being treated for cancer. So not only do they have this shortfall, but there's extra expenses as well.
Sorry. You know, if you use your mouse and hover in the top right-hand corner of Robert's screen, you can mute him.
Oh, let me have a look. I can't see how to do it from the presenter section. Let me just stop the presentation for a sec, and should be able to do it from there. Oh. Here we go. Right, yeah, I found it. Sorry, everyone. There, hopefully that's better. Can you still see my screen, by the way, guys?
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's great. Let me just restart. Maybe on that one. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, so what you can see from the slide there is that these figures are pretty devastating. So if a child is diagnosed with cancer, how are the clients going to cover this shortfall? Are we playing Russian roulette with clients by not arranging children's critical illness? Now, it isn't a nice topic to talk about, but this is why clients come to you. And we want to be able to help you to enhance the value of the advice that you're giving. And that's why we only sell directly through advisors. Now, typically, children's critical illness cover is automatically included with adult critical illness policies. This means that if a client just wants life cover, or they're not eligible for critical illness cover themselves, they can't have children's critical illness cover. It also means that in the event of a critical illness claim for the life assured, the children's cover would stop. So that's why at Guardian, we've made children's critical illness cover an optional extra that can be added to either the parent's critical illness policy or the life policy at any time from inception, or even at a later date when they're ready to have a family. So what it means is it means that clients who can't afford critical illness for themselves, allows them to have the financial stability at a time when all they need to do is to be focusing on their child. And this slide here shows you why it's so relevant. Every child critical illness claim we have paid so far has been attached to the life only policy. Every single one of these cases would not have received a payout if the advisor hadn't chosen to recommend Guardian. And all of those clients who would have been left with a loss of income at a time when they undoubtedly need to be spending more than normal. So most providers include children's critical illness cover with adult critical illness cover. The amount is usually limited to £25,000, but we feel this is too prescriptive and rigid. So with Guardian, parents can choose any amount between £10,000 and £100,000, up to a maximum of their own amount of cover. This allows you to work with your client and find the right level of cover that is right for them and their family. Maybe that's a year's salary, maybe 2. How long would your client like to take off work to look after their child? Perhaps they'd like to cover their salary and also pay for some private treatment to help with rehabilitation for the child and take a higher amount. Or perhaps money is tight and the minimum amount of £10,000 will give them some breathing space. So the average salary in the UK is £31,000. So looking at the standard policies out there, how long would £25,000 last? Now, going back to our previous slide, which shows an extra £600 a month could be needed if a child is diagnosed with cancer, plus the loss of potentially one parent's earnings, I would suggest not long enough. And this is why it's important for you to have the ability to select the right amount for your client and their lifestyle. When quoting on the portals, it's important to notice that you will see Guardian twice. The first near the top, which is for life only, and the second at the very bottom. The bottom will include children's critical illness, but it will automatically default to £25,000. If you want to change this amount, however, it's just as easy as pressing apply, which will then take you through to Guardian's own website, and you can choose the amount that is right for your client. When a child is critically ill, a prompt payout is absolutely essential. Now, our product, our children's benefit from the same high quality definitions as our award-winning critical illness definitions for adults, as well as covering 6 child-specific conditions. In most cases, confirmation from a UK consultant is all we need to pay out. So, for example, if a child is diagnosed with hydrocephalus, we just need confirmation from the consultant. No requirement for a shunt to be placed, as many companies ask for. If the child has a stroke, symptoms have lasted more than 24 hours, no need to prove death of brain tissue or hemorrhage or neurological deficit or embolism. And there's no exclusion for eye stroke or death of the optic nerve. And for diabetes, something which often develops in children, we just ask for a definite diagnosis of type 1 diabetes mellitus, requiring the permanent use of insulin injections. No deferment period before the claim can be made. Now, these are the extra child conditions. Now, looking through the list here, how would a diagnosis of any one of these affect a family? Not only could there be a financial detriment, but they also may have to make big changes to their homes and lives in general. Would a lump sum be welcomed at a time like this? At Guardian, we recognise how difficult some of these conditions can be, And in fact, the Cystic Fibrosis Trust is Guardian's chosen charity throughout 2021, and all our fundraising will go to them throughout this year. Early stage diagnosis of 22 illnesses, we will pay out an additional 25% of the amount covered, and even an additional 10% if low risk non-melanoma skin cancer is diagnosed. Now, don't forget, in many cases, we only need confirmation from the consultant. And if any of these illnesses reoccur and develops to meet our full critical illness definition, we will make a further payout to the full amount of cover. And also, whilst the death of a child is hard to contemplate, in the rare event that it does happen, our cover removes the burden of funeral costs with a £10,000 payment, whilst many providers will only pay half that amount. I'd like to tell you about one of our real life stories now. And this is the story of Simona and Jack. Sadly, last year, Simona gave birth to a stillborn baby girl after 39 weeks of pregnancy. Simona and her husband Jack had children's critical illness protection, so we paid out £10,000 funeral benefit, which was included in their children's critical illness policy. Simona and Jack also used our Halo service and were referred to Red Arc, who suggested some counselling. After the initial course of sessions, Red Arc told us that Mum was making remarkable recovery, but she really could benefit from a few more sessions, which of course we supported. We're really proud that we were able to support Simona and Jack in their moment of need. But what makes the story relevant to today's presentation is neither Mum or Dad had critical illness cover for themselves. They bought a dual life cover only policy. As they were expecting to start a family, their advisor recommended that they add on our optional children's critical illness. As we know, child CI is included automatically with adult CI in a lot of cases. So those who can't afford or don't want CI for themselves can't protect their children. And people without children are paying for something that they can never use. So our approach meant that although Simona and Jack weren't covered for critical illness themselves, their baby was. Without this, their protection policy would have offered them nothing at this devastating time. And Simona and Jack weren't alone. As I previously mentioned, every child CI policy claim we have paid so far has been where the parent had life cover only for themselves and no critical illness. Now, when you consider that child CI is in the top 5 most claimed for conditions under critical illness, shouldn't we be thinking differently about children's cover and making sure that every child can be protected? So how does it work? Well, for one small fee, a parent or legal guardian can add the children's critical illness cover to their policy. They pay just one additional cost, and then every child in the family and any new arrivals are automatically covered. To give you an idea, adding £50,000 worth of children's critical illness protection costs around £10 a month on top of the premium. And then each child will be able to access that amount, whether there is 1 child, 2, 5 or 10. And the cover is available from 24 weeks in the womb to 23 years of age. Our contract is built with modern day life in mind and even covers children who live with the life assured. How many of you have clients who've previously divorced? How many of these clients have met new partners and who may have children themselves to form a new blended family? Well, Guardian can cover all eligible children, whether they're natural, adopted, step, also those where the life assured is the legal guardian, and those children that are living with the policyholder too. We're only one of only 4 companies that cover up to the age of 23, but not only that, with Guardian, there is no requirement for them to be in full-time education. So these children can be covered even as they start to embark on the world of work for themselves at a time when they may not be able to afford cover. Now, because most providers include a limited amount of children's critical illness as standard, clients can often find themselves paying for it, even if they don't have children yet and may not have children themselves. At Guardian, clients can simply add the cover to their policy when they decide to have children, so either at outset or later on, so they only pay for it when they need it, whether that's life, critical illness, or our combined policy. They can also remove the cover at any time they wish, and the premium will reduce in line. Halo is our bespoke tailored claims service, which is tailored to your clients and their needs. We also have GP 24/7, which clients can access a GP consultation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from anywhere in the world. There's no time limit on the number of calls and no limit on the number of calls made. Maybe they can help with medication support, or perhaps they need an urgent prescription and it's a bank holiday. This is actually something we've also recently launched to our advisor community as well. So for all registered advisors, you can currently have access to our GP 24/7 service up until the end of this year for both yourselves and your immediate family. If you're already registered with us, then you just have to pop onto our website. You just have to go onto our website and you'll be able to access the details of how to join this. But please do this because it gives us an opportunity to show you what it's like being a Guardian client. The other element of the cover for clients is a second medical opinion, which following the diagnosis of a more serious condition, your clients can speak to a UK specialist face-to-face where possible. They can discuss their concerns and options for treatment, and they can even get a specialist nurse support both before and after the consultation to help them come to terms with the outcome. All results will be sent to their own GP too for continuity of care. Just like to share another story with you, and this involves Alex and his son. Alex was a 44-year-old healthcare worker who wanted a life policy to protect his mortgage. His advisor suggested a child CI policy as an optional extra, as he had a young son. Now, sadly, within a few months of taking out the policy, his 2-year-old son was diagnosed with a soft tissue tumour or sarcoma behind his eye. He started treatment at Great Ormond Street Hospital, although the family lived between 30 and 40 miles away, and his dad had to take him on frequent appointments, meaning a sort of 70-mile round trip. The travelling expenses, the congestion charge and the parking costs were becoming difficult for them to cover as money was already tight and they were starting to feel the pinch. Because of this, our claim handler was able to arrange an additional immediate payment to help with those costs even before the claim itself was made. Our Halo claims team also felt that a Red Arc referral would be useful, and then a personal nurse was appointed to help them with the diagnosis. The father then received the full payout under our cancer definition. Again, had the advisor not recommended a Guardian life policy, none of this would have been possible, and you can imagine how much more difficult it would have been for this family. So let's have a recap and cover some of the key features of our child cover. It's available from 24 weeks within the womb to 23 years of age and is available for all children living with the life assured. The cover is flexible and the parents can decide what level of cover is right with them, with the minimum being £10,000, which would only cost about £2 a month on top of the premium, and a maximum of £100,000. We cover 76 conditions as standard and an extra 6 child-specific conditions with our award-winning crystal clear definitions. Not only that, but we also have a cover upgrade promise, so you can rest assured that your clients will benefit from a policy that's always evolving and improving as time goes on. To make it really flexible, the cover can be added at outset or at some point in the future, which can really help to enhance the value of advice that you give as you carry out reviews going forwards. It's also important to note that on a decreasing term policy, the cover of the children's critical illness stays level, so the cover is always there when the clients need it. And as we only sell through advisors, this is something that your clients can't get elsewhere. So it helps to protect your own business too. We have a different approach on waiver of premium. Waiver of premium with Guardian is standard on all policies, and it is an intrinsic part of the policy, so it will never be declined. Our deferment period is also only 28 days. So not only do we cover the premiums if your clients are too ill or injured to work, but we also cover maternity and paternity leave for up to 6 months. How many other companies would help you celebrate bringing a new life into this world? But not only that, we also cover the premiums if your client is made redundant, allowing them time to get back on their feet with their protection policy still in place. We do have our child CI campaign in the trade press and online at the moment, but we do have some excellent support at point of sale available for you on our website, including many of the statistics that I've shown you today. Now, once we finish today, I will send that information across to you so you have that available to you. If you need any more information, please do take a look on the website. There is a lot of information there. And if there's anything more you need, obviously I'm available to speak to you whenever you would like. Thank you for your time today. Hope you found the presentation useful. And I'll pass back to Stephen to see if there's any questions.
thank you to Vicky. Can you make me the host
Oh, yes.
again, Vicky, please?
Just got to work out how to do it.
Top right hand corner of my screen or box, and then there'll be a make host as an option.
Okay.
You'll be pleased to know that I've done a policy with Guardian today, Life and CI. There's no children's cover on it because they've not got any kids. But you never know that. Anybody got any questions for Vicky? No? Okay.
Right, I'm still trying to make you the host, Stephen. Sorry.
Yeah.
There we go. Got it. There you go. Lovely. In that case, if there's no questions, I shall leave you to the rest of your team meeting. Enjoy and hopefully speak to you all soon.
Thanks, Vicky.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The second person who was supposed to be with us today was Alex Hart from Digital Mortgages, but he's not joining us and he's not answering my messages. So hopefully he'll be able to get in touch with me at some stage and join us on a future one, which is a bit disappointing because I don't think we've had anyone on from Digital Mortgages before. But don't let that stop you from using them. They're offering decent products. Couple of things from me, and then I'll pass you on to Donald and or David. Just a couple of things to show you. This has come out today. Now, whether or not this might be something that Donald or David takes away anyway, but this is literally come out while we've been on. We may have read earlier today that LNG not doing the ASU product anymore. And as a result of that, then there's been some amendments to the IDDs now for all of us on here, not necessarily everyone that comes under the linear banner, but also all of us on here. We use the linear one anyway. Donald, what will we have to have a new one? What do we need to do?
Yeah, we need to update the IDD for to take it back to it's just Payment Shield now. There'll be ASU. So there's been a few emails backwards and forwards between me and compliance, just on the basis that it would be nice to be told that these changes were happening so that we could make changes to the IDDs in good time for these kind of announcements. So yes, you can imagine that the frosty emails went back and forwards, and Dave Woodbridge will have been witness to my frosty emails. So, so yeah, we need
It'd be nice to know in advance, wouldn't it?
It would be lovely, yeah. But it's not just this. There's another aspect to the IDDs at the moment, which you might have seen, may have noticed, that mentions credit broking. So under general insurance, there's the usual mention of credit broking. After getting it wrong in the first place back in February, compliance has now realised that, and we're going to be taking that off. So all we really want is for compliance to communicate with us all properly, and then we can do these things and get them right. So yeah, we need to update the 8 IDDs that were circulated earlier in the year to remove the LNG thing and remove credit broker. So it's just a matter of timing and that. If anybody gets picked up on any file check or anything, and the IDs haven't been issued yet, that will only be because I haven't got to them and I haven't been told to do so by compliance. So I will defend you stoutly if this happens. So that's where we're at.
Okay,
do you agree, Mr. Woodbridge?
Absolutely, yeah. Just baffling. It did mention the credit broking on that Donald. Did you see it?
No, I haven't had time to read it amongst the hundreds of others that came in last week.
Yeah.
A couple more things. Toolbox, when we're talking about compliance and whatever, but Toolbox release, not much of any interest on it, but just one thing I picked up here that we can now highlight, not that I've ever done, I don't know anybody else has, but I've never done a short-term income protection policy. But yeah, we can now put it down separately, which will enable the court to identify it because they regard them as high risk. Another thing, you might remember last year, the Mortgage Introducer Awards, the individual one of which was won by Kate McTurnan. And that's come round again. So sort of keep your eyes out, because certainly Primus were nominated, Linear were nominated, I was nominated, and Kate won. So hopefully Kate won't win this year because she's not under the Linear banner anymore, so we don't want anybody renting her. But what I would say is to keep your eye out for it, and if anybody is nominated, then let's all make sure we vote for them, and or Primus and Linear as well. And last but not least, Live Press came out, I think it was last week. I'm not going to dwell on it to any great degree, but there are a few interesting things. We've got the mortgage webinars coming up early in October, and then we've got some protection ones in December, so we've got those dates well in advance, which was good. What else was on here that I picked up? Some conveyancing webinars as well. There's been a few of those previously, and they're doing them again because I think they've worked out really well. And a bit of information about compliance, and this specialist lending seminar that I've certainly put that down to be on, because there's some interesting companies there. Very few of them I've had that much to do with, in all honesty, and as I'm sure most people will be aware, the job gets more and more complicated, and you get more and more people wanting help that's not straightforward, so I'm hoping to get something out of that. That's it from me. Donald, Dave, who's talking to us?
Just before Donald goes, just while you're on the subject of events, Stephen, there's also the goal setting event on Monday at 10 a.m. If anyone wants to join and book onto that, it'll be the usual Richard Coulson rah-rah, but that's 10 o'clock. You can book on Training Matters or email me and we can book you on. So that was the only other thing.
No
Sorry,
worries.
Donald.
It's all right. Just in relation to those seminars, Steve, that you mentioned as well, there's no restriction on Linear as to which one the advisors can go to. So you can choose a date to suit you best. You can choose a region that suits. So it's because they're on Zoom, it's open enough to go to these. And hopefully next year, if we get back into the swing of doing things locally again, the same thing would apply. Although Dave and I are trying to convince Richard that we need a couple of conferences by end of year, perhaps one in the north, one in the south-ish for Linear. Actually proper conferences, not ones that we do on television screens. So yeah, I mean, Richard's back, he's behind the idea of it, and we're starting to get a little bit more out and about there now. The offices, Chippenham and Solihull, are opening gradually. So people are coming back in on a phased basis. It's never going to go back in the near future to what it used to be in terms of like a full office. And lots of people have now got sort of flexible working patterns built into their work contracts. So they may do 2 or 3 days in the office a week and 2 or 3 days from home on a sort of not a shift basis, but on an organised basis, so that there's always a reasonable sized team in head office, and people can still take advantage of working from home as well. Yeah. So that's where we're at with that, and we're starting to be able to do a little bit more field visits. I'm actually going to a conference on Monday in Hinckley, in Leicester, which is Scout Financial Services, one of the firms I look after on the AR side. So they work with Yopa, the online estate agency. So they're having their first conference of from whenever, 2 years or whatever. So yeah, things are gradually opening. So anyway,
Donald, do you want me to make you the host? You see how Alex has been able to join us, so he can wait and you go a bit first.
Yeah.
If you want. Yeah.
If you don't mind, Steve, I'll bash through the business results for August and year to date. So yeah.
Here we go.
Thank you very much. I'll share my screen. Hello, Alex. Welcome. I'm diving in front of you. So.
Hi. Yeah. How's everyone?
Good.
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
I'll go back on mute.
Right. So hopefully this work. Is that? Ooh. Now I can't see any of you. Let's try that. Can you see Linear Advisors Zoom meeting now? No?
No.
Okay. It's done that strange thing, Dave, which is, how about that?
Oh, yeah.
Now we can, yeah.
Yeah. So you can see full screen, yeah? It's not showing my notes and all that sort of stuff.
No, full screen.
Because there are no notes, because I make it up as I go along, as you know. So it's anyway. Right. Just where do we end up on August? So this was the whole of the AR premise network, excluding Embrace as usual. The column to concentrate on is over here, which is the year-on-year comparison to last August. And as you can see, for the overall network, very healthy. Applications up 10% on last year, completions up 9%, protection applications up 15%, and completions up 26%, and general insurance applications up 24%, and completions up 30%. So very healthy August, considering it was a holiday month, particularly. How did linear compare within that? Spectacularly, is probably what I would say, really. We've had one of our, I think we had the best application month of the year this year. We didn't have the best completions month, but certainly had the best applications, with over 300 mortgage applications going in last month and 200 protection. As you can see, that was like almost 50% up on the mortgage side since last August, and a colossal amount. I can't work it out how much it was up on the protection side, but we did fine. And general insurance as well, really good, 45% up on last August. And I know we have our general insurance specialist, although I can't see it at the moment because I can only see 4 people, but Ash, you'll be in amongst that, no doubt. So, league tables, give you a bit of context. Firstly, on linear overall in the month of August, linear was 5th for firm size in the whole network. So extremely good performance, as you can see. What puts you on this table is simply the add up of the applications numbers. Yeah. So those 534 applications, that took linear to 5th. So extremely well done to all contributors on there, and you can see some fairly big names all around as well. That linear's in there, beating and competing with very well. In terms of what really matters, what goes in the pocket, paid on. So in August, linear was 3rd in the network, behind RSC and mortgages first, obviously being the largest ARs that we have outside of Embrace, which we keep separate. So although it wasn't the best paid month of the year, still very good, and obviously 3rd in the network. So a positive result on the completions there. And looking at year-to-date completions, I'll do a top 15 because it'll let you see a few more names of firms, and you think firms that you might know or have heard of, and see where linear is sitting in the context of those. And I've also highlighted off the top 11 firms in premise, again excluding Embrace. There's 11 over £1 million of income year to date. So great to see linear in there in 7th. And ahead of the luminaries such as your Granges and Insurance Firsts and Francis Stones and so on and so forth. So extremely well done to everybody who is contributing. I'm just going to move across now. I'll stop this share and I'll bring up the advisor table because it's taking on different looks month by month as we have advisors joining us, moving through, staying, and so on and so forth. Trying to share this. Lucy, I don't think you sent out the month-end one, have you yet? And Dave, I don't think you can do a commentary, but can we all see the month applications table? Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Just so you're aware, the total amount of commission written in August down the bottom, that was the highest amount of commissions totals written this year, and for goodness knows how long. It was a really good month, and there's some names on there, some new names, and lots of existing advisors up there as well, all doing really well. I mean, if you look at the amount of people who did more than £10,000, all the way up to Garnett, who just kind of like lost the plot and did 52 grand's worth. You got Zach in there, 30, Matt Hayes on 28. I'm sure that must be one of Matt's best months, Kylian's in there, 17,000. Max is up there too. Max, you're on somewhere, I think. It's a cracking month, pushing up towards 15,000 there. that overall total and the total year to date for from January to August, Linear has applied for, you guys have written and applied for £2.6 million worth of commission, if you like. All of last year we did 2.5 million. Okay, so 8 months in, we're beating last year's total already. 4 months to go on applications. So it's really great to see. It's just great to see how so many people doing so well and under the Linear banner, and whether that's somebody who's going to be here for a while because it's helping them move on to become an appointed rep, or whether they're here for a while and here to stay, hopefully. It feels like a really good result all around. So well done wherever you are on the table. There's just so many contributors now. It's hard to lose track a little bit, but yeah, good stuff. Steve, you only had a half month, so you only had 10 grand. I think it's back to 20 grand this month coming, presumably. Yeah. Good. Okay. That's it on the business result from me. I'm happy to jump off now and hand over to Alex for his presentation, Steve. And if anybody's got any questions for me, I'll stay on, and obviously Dave's on as well. And when you do your round robin at the end, I'll feel free to ask questions, everybody. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
Thanks, Donald.
Have you got a presentation, Alex? You want me to make you host? Yeah.
I can run through one. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, don't forget, Steve always says this to every presenter: if you do your presentation and leave, don't forget to make him host before you go. So I'll make you host now.
Oh, okay.
That should be you.
Is it still working? Everything's really quiet.
No, you should be able to run a presentation or whatever you do.
Oh, where's he gone?
He's there still.
Well, that's it.
I'll tell you what, I'm just going to talk, if that's all right.
Yeah, we can't see. Oh, that's it.
These digital mortgages people, they think there's no tech.
Here we go. Am I working? Is it?
We can see you, but there's no presentation. But we'll listen to you.
I'm just going to talk, if that's all right.
Crack on. No worries.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for inviting me. As I say, apologies, Stephen. I had it in my diary for 2:30, so I'm really, really apologetic.
No problem.
Being late. I just wanted to run through really. I'll just do it really quickly. So I don't know if everybody's used it or if anybody's used this, but I just wanted to run through the main part of what Atom is about, or digital mortgages. So you've got Atom Bank and you've got digital mortgages. Digital mortgages is the intermediary arm of Atom Bank. So with ourselves, every customer that's a customer of Atom Bank needs to be able to download an app. So this is the mortgage journey that they need to adhere to. With that, they must have a device so that they can download an Android or an Apple app onto. They must have their own email address and mobile phone number. And essentially what the app will do post-completion and pre-completion is give them all of their mortgage details. So pre-completion, it will notify them when you've done a successful dip. So it won't give them any negative information. So if it's a declined dip, they get nothing. But if it's a positive one, we'll start announcing to them that you've done a dip for them, download the app and get the details. And then it will go from dip to app to valuation to mortgage offer. And the most important one is at mortgage offer stage, that they go in and they read the terms and conditions of it and they accept it in app, so that they're in essence their electronic signature. The reviews that we get are fantastic. It works really, really well, and it's really simple to set up. So the customers love it because not only are you telling them what's going on, but we're also telling them where they're at. So it's the feedback on it is immense. Has anybody used this as a thumbs up or anything?
Yeah, I have quite a few times.
Excellent. And just to say, feedback from the customers always positive?
Yeah, because you explain how you operate, so they either want it or they don't. So I think they know that up front, and then to be honest, it does tend to be younger, busier clients a lot of the time. But if they want it and it's what they're looking for, and the product's good and the rate's good, then they know what to expect, so they're happy with it.
Brilliant, that's good. So I mean, we have, I mean, when we launched, so we're only 4.5 years old, so we're still a baby lender. And when we launched, the first couple of years, we probably majored on the low remortgage LTV products. And then for the last 2 years, we've mainly been pricing very, very strongly at the 95s, the 90s, and even down to the 85s. So our demographic of customers changed to become more purchase orientated and for first time buyers. So it has really, really suited the technology-based customers. So just running through, I mean, with employed people, I suppose the best thing to remember is that we're okay with probationary periods. We only need the customer to be in for 1 month and that they were in their previous role for 12 months. Now, variable pay is going to be all turned back on again. So this is bonus, commission, overtime in October. So we've still got the hangover from the COVID world, but it will go back on again in October, and we will be allowed to be able to use 50% of all their overtime or commission, as I say. Currently, key workers are still eligible for it, but at the moment, anybody else other than key workers can't. So post-October time, everyone can use their additional income where you need it. So that has been a little bit of a hamperer for us for the last 18 months. Self-employed wise, so you've obviously got the 3 different types. You've got the sole trader, limited company, and contractors. We can cover all of them. So sole traders, it's just 2 years average of tax year overviews. Limited company directors, slightly different. We'll take the salary plus the pre-tax net profit. So that's the figure on the accounts before corporation tax is deducted. We don't need to see accounts, but we will go for a reference if you tell us to. And the 5 questions that we ask on the accountant's reference is literally, what's the gross profit, what profit before tax, what's their salary, what's their share, what's their total income. So the share is obviously 25, 50 or 100. And then that's the figures, and they're the numbers that you would put into the application. So that makes life a lot easier. Currently, there's a supplementary form that will need to be completed with all self-employed people. And essentially that's asking, have they been affected by COVID? What grants and reliefs have they taken? What do they foresee the future to hold? So if they've not been affected, nice and easy form. But if they have been affected, tell us how they've been affected and what they've got lined up for the future. The most important thing that we're looking for is, can they provide evidence on 3 months business counts that they've got back to their level of lend or their level of earnings to what their accounts show? Currently, I've had no issues with self-employed. They're all manually underwritten, which makes life a lot easier because you can explain on the form exactly what's the position the customer's in. So it could have been a hairdresser, enforced closure, but now they've got subsequent future bookings that will more than make up for any of the lost income that they had when they were off. And that just gives the peace of mind to the underwriters to say, yes, it's affordable, we can sign it off. Contractors, so we need a minimum day rate of £250 per day or an annual income of 50,000. Now you've got the 2 different types of contractors. You've got the individual contractor and you've got the contractor that works under an umbrella company because of the IR35 changes now. Both are acceptable. The only difference on the umbrella company is that we'll need to see the contract with the individual named and their income, and then that's the reference for incomes sorted out then. Any questions around the contractors quickly?
No.
No, perfect. New product line that we've just launched. So it's about 6 weeks old now. And we're now helping customers for a near prime proposition. So this is customers that have got CCJs, defaults, missed payment profiles. And again, I'll let you know what the changes are going to be. So at the moment, we'll accept 4 CCJs with no monetary maximum and an unsatisfied amount of £500. This is being raised to £1,000 worth of unsatisfied, and it will only be in 3 years for the county court judgment. Defaults is within 3 years, and again, it's 4 registered, and then £500 at the moment, but again, that's raising to £1,000 from October. There's no monetary maximum, but with CCJs and defaults, they've all got to be over a year old. We can't have her registered within 12 months. Missed mortgage payments, you can have up to a status 2 in 2 years, in 24 months, but nothing in the last 12, and everything needs to be up to date. It needs to be all paid back before the decision in principle is taken. You're allowed 2 missed credit card payments in 12 months, and then 1 missed loan payment in 12 months. But what's good about it is, essentially, it's up to 75%, but what will happen is you'll apply as a prime product and it will decline and offer you a near prime product route. There's no credit scoring, so it's literally, does the adverse match our tolerance for adverse? We don't want any letters of explanation. The customer gets the same journey as a prime one with the app and all of the being able to accept the mortgage offer in app. The pricing is really keen as well, so it's really low. So you've got different options on each loan where you've got a fee, no fee, a cashback, no cashback. They've all got free valuations. And if it's a remortgage, they've got the fees assisted legal fees as well. But the lowest rates is 2.84 and it goes up to 3.64. So you've got a really good mix of rates between, let's say, the late 2s and the late-ish 3s. But it's going really, really well. So did anybody get anything like that? Any adversely sort of deals?
Okay, quite a bit, to be honest, but I've not seen anything yet where you sort of sourced up in there or thereabouts.
I have. I've done 4.
Brilliant.
Very good. Great service. Sorry, let me. Yeah, it was all good. They were excellent, to be fair. Really good, and downloading the app and everything's fine. Everything's great.
Ah, fantastic. Thank you. Thanks for that.
No, very fine.
Perfect. So yeah, so the near prime stuff is a little bit more trickier to obviously source, because when you put in CCJ or default into the sourcing, it brings up everybody. So it's kind of that scrolling down to the point where you know a lender will do it. And I suppose at the minute, the initial reaction is most people will end up with the Kensingtons, the Aldermores or the Peppers of the world. So it's just kind of letting you know that it's something that we can consider if it's within the tolerances. So anything like that, please give me a call. Remortgage wise, so capital raising, we can do 95% for home improvements. There is a rule around it to make sure that we can get 95%. And what the rule is that if they're borrowing more than 15% of the value of their home, it would then be restricted to 85%. If it's less than that, they can go up to 95% for home improvements. And the rationale is if they're borrowing more than 15% of the value, so say you've got an average house price of 300,000, if they're borrowing more than 45,000, they're probably going to be doing quite significant works to the property. And our risk team's fear is that if they're borrowing right up to the hill, then what happens if they run out of money or they don't finish it or there's, they do it badly? Potentially they could downvalue the property. So they'd rather have a bigger buffer at the higher amounts of home improvement figures. But if it's less than 15%, then I say it's up to 95%, and they can do what they like. So things like buying a car or weddings or holidays or university fees and all of that, absolutely fine to go up to 95%. It's just literally home improvements that there's a restriction on. The other one is for debt consolidating. Debt consolidate has been made trickier with us because we've changed our affordability views. And essentially, if someone's got debts now, we're going to take them into account for future affordability, regardless of whether they're going to pay it off or not. So it's okay if they come to you and they can afford it, we can go up to 95%, but if they can't, which is generally the case, then we get caught on the affordability. Is that clear for everyone? Then what we don't treat as debt consolidating though is like help to buy, shared ownership or secured loan. So if you've got help to buy or shared ownership buyouts and there's 100%, then we can go right up to 95%. At the moment, the only restrictor is the fact that the loan size at 95% is only 300,000. But again, in October, because there's a whole raft of things coming in, we're going to increase the loan size to 500,000 at 95%. The other thing that we've also done is improved our desktop or AVM technology to cover 90% for remortgage and for purchase. So because a lot of our business is coming through at 90%, we're getting that straight through process as well. Everyone's silly or have I frozen?
No, it's fine. Just want to mute this and
Sorry. So the other thing, lending into retirement. So lending into retirement, 70 is our standard age. But if somebody wants to go over the age of 70 and they're within 10 years of state retirement or in 10-year retirement, then we would lend against pension projections. But if they were younger than that, so say you had a 40-year-old, they could potentially have a 40-year term mortgage as long as they've got a pension contribution and a plausible job role. If you've got somebody that does want to go past the age of 70, the only time we'll ever take a pension contribution into account is then. So generally what we'll say is, because there's no box for it, is if you just put it into the normal expenditure, and then it will just go through, right? Our DIPs are soft search, and we use TransUnion. Okay, so anybody who's got the Credit Karma report is essentially what we see. We've got a foreign national policy now that covers the whole world. And what we're looking at there is there's essentially 4 questions that we want to ask. And that is, have they lived in the UK for more than 3 years? Have they got pre-settled or settled status? And can they provide the share code so that we can see that? And if they're further afield than that, have they got permanent rights to reside? And if they can say yes to all of those, then we can lend at 95%. They can have standard lending criteria. Anybody that's on a visa is just not one for us. The other thing is things like restricted covenants, large acreages, annexes, anything like that that you get, you know, the 1 in a million inquiries. That's the sort of thing that we've also got a really good tolerance for. I think that covers everything. So income-wise, you've got the 0 hours agency workers and fixed-term contracts. All of those are acceptable. So with temporary agency and 0 hours, we'd need 2 years worth of experience. With fixed term contracts, so we only need 12 months history of them doing it if their contract's more than 6 months. If it's not, then we'll need 2 years, but we can still help. So, any questions now?
Anybody got any questions for Alex? No? Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Alex. That's given us a good overview. And as you've seen, Robert's been very happy with some of the cases he's done, and I've done some stuff with you as well.
Brilliant. How do I put you back to host?
Just go on to the screenshot of me in the top right-hand corner. There are 3, 4 little dots, 3, 4 little dots. Hover over that, it should say make host.
Got you.
And that's it.
We don't use Zoom. It's one of the ones we're only allowed to use, like Teams or Hangouts.
Yeah, there you go. We like Zoom in Linear and Primis.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Alex. If there's anything that you want me to distribute to everyone, just send it to me and I can get it round everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
No worries. Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Cheers. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.
Right, round robin then. Nothing else from me. Ross, have you got anything you want to share with us, tell us about, or ask anyone?
Nothing from me, mate. No.
No. Ash?
Nothing from me, thank you.
Robert?
Nothing from me.
Oh, come on. Next time, we want to see it. I'm going to make you the host for the next one, and you show us your first TikTok video.
It won't be long.
Well, there you go. So you've got a fortnight to get it sorted.
I'll have it done before then.
Yeah. Well, I'm not on TikTok, so I look forward to you showing us on this.
Don't worry, Donald. It'll be good.
I don't know what Donald is. I'm not sure if it's worried or there's other adjectives to use.
Robert, I'm going to switch my phone off.
You don't need to.
Cassia, anything from you?
Nothing, but I had a visit yesterday from BDM from HSBC. She came to see me, so it's nice to start seeing people face to face.
Ah, blimey. That's good. I've not seen anyone. Well, I've seen 4 clients face to face now, I think. But I've not seen it. Oh no, I have. I met the guy from Sortley for in the local Costa Coffee. That's the first person I've met at BDMs.
She came to my house.
That's good.
Yeah.
Lucy, anything from you?
Nothing business related, but I just thought you'd all like to join me in wishing Ross the best of luck for his wedding on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck, Ross.
Ross, there's still time.
Don't do it.
There's still time, Ross.
Even more luck to your better half to be.
Yeah, thank you.
You'll need it. I know. All the best. Donald, anybody got any questions for Donald or David? No? Anything either of you guys want to say?
No.
Already said?
No, I'm fine. Just we should see things. August is always the holiday month within the network as well. So Dave mentioned earlier, you've got the goal setting coming up. We should see these returning. I think there'll be a program, won't there, Dave, of Monday morning ones coming back again. So, you know, some of them will be repeats. We'll quite often see people returning to these just to refresh memories on, you know, on certain aspects of whether it's protection excellence or whatever. Just a bit of a slight offbeat one, really. I don't know if many of you know Jim Holleran. Ash, I'm sure you'll have done a course that Jim Holleran's done on general insurance. Yeah. I mean, speaking with Jim just recently, and he's been out and about in the region that I'm looking after as well. He does know a fair bit about Toolbox, and he's very knowledgeable on GI. And he's quite willing, is Jim. If anybody wants a session on anything, if it, you know, or even Steve, if wanted to think about, is there something that Jim could show us about Toolbox that would help us all, you know, on one of these meetings, something to think about, just to tap into the, you know, sometimes people fly under the radar a bit in the network that can be really helpful, and we don't often, you know, realize that they're there to help us out. So, yeah, give it some thought, and if you want to tap Jim into anything, you can drop me a note. Dave as well. Dave, he'll have a line into to Jim too, and he knows his IT stuff too. So.
That's good. I went on a home insurance one he did last year sometime. I think that was good.
Mm-hmm. He did, yeah.
Let's not flash them all to Ash, though.
That's right. He taught you well.
2 things weren't connected. Excellent. Okay, folks. Well, I'll leave you with the fact that India are 105 for 4, and Coley's just got his 50, which you may or may not be interested in.
Not interested.
Well, there you go. Well, you go back to your...
Which horse race is that in?
You haven't won money, Donald. Don't worry.
Thanks very much, guys. Have a good couple of weeks. We'll speak in a couple of weeks' time.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.